Now we have digestive glands. As we have seen in the previously we saw, right, digestive glands, salivary gland, liver, gallbladder, pancreas. So now we are going to elaborate that, and each we can have an explanation on that. So digestive glands, first one is salivary glands, second liver with gallbladder, third pancreas. Now salivary glands, total we have 6 in our mouth. Don't get confused, there are 3 pairs of salivary glands, so total 6. Now there are three types, right? So we have 3 names: parotid, submaxillary or submandibular, and sublingual. Parotid, cheek, remember it like that. Submaxillary or submandibular, mandibular, lower jaw. That is, this salivary gland is present in the lower jaw. How to remember? Mandible, usually we use that name for jaw, right? Even in cockroach we'll say mandible for jaw. So that's why submandibular or submaxillary, lower jaw. Sublingual, below tongue. Lingual means language, right? One who can speak many languages, something like that. So when you connect that to language, then speaking comes to, without tongue we cannot speak. So that is below the tongue. That's why they are called sublinguals. They are present below tongue. Now remember this line, it is in the textbook itself. So all these 3 pairs of salivary glands are located outside the buccal cavity and secrete their salivary juice into the buccal cavity. Don't confuse, we don't know what NTA can do, so they might confuse us by replacing the words outside or inside. They'll just say all these salivary glands are present inside the buccal cavity as well. So it's present on the outside, and it's like we are pouring it inside the buccal cavity. So if we see, this is the buccal cavity, and the pipes from all these 3 are pouring it into the buccal cavity. So next we come to liver. So we have liver here. Liver is the largest gland, and we already know that from our younger classes. And now liver weighs from 1.2 to 1.5 kg. It is present in the abdominal cavity. It is present below the diaphragm. It has 2 lobes. I'll tell. Abdominal cavity, we have already learned that stomach lies in the upper left side of the abdominal cavity. Now next, below diaphragm, remember the positions they might ask. They might give, it is present in the abdominal cavity, it is present below the diaphragm, and which is the organ. They might give 4 options and we need to find out. So that will be the liver, right? Now abdominal cavity below diaphragm. About diaphragm, lungs and all we can learn in the next chapter, that is respiration. That time we will be learning that in detail. Now coming to liver, liver has 2 lobes. The lobes contain hepatic lobules, and the hepatic lobules contain hepatic cells, and the lobules are structural and functional units of liver. The hepatic cells are arranged in the form of cords. Again the picture will be inserted. Now hepatic lobes, hepatic cells, don't confuse that. For the better clarification, just see this picture, just a simple one. Lobes, a bigger one, lobule, cell. See the order, don't confuse it, okay? So lobes comes first, bigger one, inside that we have lobules, inside that we have cell. Now next, each lobule has a thin connective tissue sheath covering, that is called the Glissen's capsule. Many times asked question. Each lobule covered by a thin connective tissue sheath called Glissen's capsule. Don't forget, it's the Glissen's capsule. Each lobule is covered, right? Don't forget, it's the lobule. Each lobule is covered by Glissen's capsule. Now bile is secreted by hepatic cells. What did you learn? In the liver we have 2 lobes, right? Lobes, inside them lobule, inside them cells. Now these hepatic cells secrete bile. Bile is stored and concentrated in gallbladder. Now do we understand, right, why they have included gallbladder in the accessory digestive gland? Now bile is stored and concentrated in gallbladder, thin muscular sac. Thin muscular sac, this word, do you remember? We have already learnt a blind sac, right? In the cecum contains, it's a blind sac containing symbiotic microorganisms. So whenever like this, when we learn, if we see a similar word, just try to recall wherever you have learnt a similar word, connecting that. Just try to remember this we have learned there. Now that whenever you recall, it retains in your mind. That is how we learn. Now next, coming to the ducts. Duct is like a tube containing the secretions of each organ or each gland. Now cystic duct plus hepatic duct forms the common bile duct. Now for better clarification, just you can see the textbook. The textbook has the picture. I'll insert it as well. Now cystic duct from the gallbladder. Don't forget cystic gallbladder. Hepatic duct, liver. Hepatic, the word connects to liver, right? So hepatic duct means it comes from liver. In the textbook, if you see hepatic duct 2, I have written here. They have 2 lobes, right? So from each lobe there is one duct coming. So hepatic duct is 2. Now 2 lobes hepatic, 1 cystic duct. They form the common bile duct. Now common bile duct plus pancreatic duct. Duct, I said there's a tube coming from the organ. So pancreatic duct means tube coming from pancreas, right? So pancreatic duct plus common bile duct gives the common hepatopancreatic duct, which is guarded by sphincter of Oddi. This name it is important. So this we have already learned 2 sphincters, gastroesophageal here, right? Gastroesophageal sphincter and pyloric sphincter. That's why I've said you whenever we come across a similar word or the word which we have learnt before, we should always try to recall what we have learned. That helps us to retain in our mind. So gastroesophageal sphincter, it regulates opening of esophagus into stomach. Pyloric sphincter, it helps in opening of stomach into duodenum. Not to forget, it's important. So sphincter of Oddi, guarded by sphincter of Oddi, that is a common hepatopancreatic duct. Once more, these ducts, this might be confusing to learn just without any picture. Always connect it to a picture and imagine in the mind so that we can remember that. Remembering is mainly important. Once you read, you will not remember. You have to read twice, thrice. Again, you will forget in a span of time. Again, we have to revise, reread, re-revise. That is important. So again, I'm telling you, look at the picture as well while I'm explaining, then you will get a better picture of it. So cystic duct, hepatic duct, common bile duct, pancreatic duct, common hepatopancreatic duct. Once you read it like this, you will not get it, because you will be like duct, and it's not, you will just feel that is so difficult. So just compare it with the your picture, or you can also just draw it like this, draw it like this and just label it. You will get a better picture for that. Now explaining again, cystic duct from gallbladder, as I said, cystic connected to gallbladder, plus hepatic duct from liver. We have 2 ducts. Then common bile duct plus pancreatic duct. So these both cystic and hepatic forms the common bile duct. This common bile duct joining with the pancreatic duct opens to the hepatopancreatic duct. In the hepatopancreatic duct opening, we will have the sphincter of Oddi. So that's why they have given guarded by sphincter of Oddi. In the diagram, we can see a word called common bile duct, but that common bile duct they have not mentioned in our content. So common bile duct, 2 hepatic ducts, I have told, right? 2 hepatic ducts, they form the common hepatic duct. Usually they don't ask like this, but maybe they can do, right? We never know. So hepatic duct from both the lobes of the liver, they form the common hepatic duct. Again, I'm telling this is there in the diagram and this is there in the content. So don't confuse that, it is the same. Now next, coming to pancreas. Pancreas is an elongated structure. You can read that. If you read that part and connect it to the picture, you will get a better idea on that. So pancreas, a compound elongated organ. And a compound, what do you mean by a compound? Compound is exocrine plus endocrine. Again, actually this exocrine endocrine part comes in the final chapter of human physiology, chemical coordination, but as this is the first basic chapter, you just need to know exocrine and endocrine. Endocrine means it secretes hormones, and exocrine means it secretes juices, enzymes, whatever. Just know that. So we have different, like pituitary gland, we have already learnt in our previous classes. And now compound, like pancreas, testes, ovary, they are compound. So alkaline juice, enzymes, they are released from exocrine part of the pancreas. Endocrine release the hormones, exactly insulin and glucagon. Insulin, glucagon, we are very familiar with that. Insulin, we know, right? Even a normal person knows insulin injections are given to the sugar diabetes patients. So insulin decreases the sugar level, glucagon increases the sugar level. So that is that. Now next coming, this compound pancreas is present between the limbs of C-shaped duodenum. C-shaped, I have told you. Now you just now you have seen the word C-shaped. Now where did we learn the shape of any organ previously? That just try to recall. It is the J-shaped stomach, right? So J-shaped stomach, C-shaped duodenum. Now this pancreas is elongated between the limbs of C-shaped duodenum. See the picture, you will get a better idea. There are limbs, right? This is the limb. So if we say this is the limb, the pancreas goes like this. So this is an elongated structure present between the limbs. It is like sandwiched between the limbs, right? That is what they are trying to say, between limbs of the C-shaped duodenum.